Hey, what's up, everyone? In this video, I wanted to talk about MyListing version 2.13, which was recently released, talk about rolling it out to websites. I also want to talk about MyListing Club behind the scenes, so what I've been working on, and also 2026 plans for the MyListing Club, some other miscellaneous tidbits, and then some calls to action for you. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So the first item is the MyListing version 2.13 rollout. So I did a video a couple days ago on this update, walking through the features and fixes and whatnot. This is more of a note for my clients, but also I think it's helpful for anyone out there. There are, typically with major releases of this size, there is going to be bugs. So there are bugs with this release. There are enough bugs and types of bugs that I am not rolling this out to my clients yet. I'm still testing it, but if you go to the MyListing help desk, you'll see bugs being reported there. I've also found some bugs that I haven't reported. Long story short, I'm not updating any live production websites with the new version of MyListing just yet. So we're going to wait for that next release to come out, and that's probably when I will roll that update out to my sites and my client sites. So something to be aware of. I highly recommend, if you don't have a support license with MyListing, help support the team. Go get your support license. Go over there and get signed up for the help desk, and so you can follow along. And also report bugs. Help everybody in the MyListing community. Report those bugs. See what the fixes are. All that stuff. Contribute. Okay, next up is MyListing Club behind the scenes. Lots going on. So a lot of times, the MyListing Club doesn't have a community anymore. That was by choice, just because there wasn't a lot of. I feel like I was talking to myself a lot. So instead of there being like a community aspect, so without the community there, it's communicating this stuff is pretty much the YouTube channel. There is a newsletter, which I recommend that you sign up for the MyListing Club as well. So it's the newsletter, and then videos like what I'm doing here. It's to let you guys know what I'm up to. But there's a lot going on, and it may, if you don't watch the videos and you're not in the newsletter, and because there's not that community anymore, you might wonder, what is Ryan even doing over there at MyListing Club? Is he doing anything? But I've got a lot of clients, so a lot of my day is MyListing Club clients or my agency clients. Helping them build MyListing and WordPress websites. So, just because you don't hear from me doesn't mean there's not a lot that I'm working on to make the club better and to bring you guys more value and all that stuff. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's behind the scenes. I have the worksheets updated, the MyListing worksheets updated to include version 2.13 of MyListing. So there's some things in that changelog primarily around listing fields. So I'm going to show you the worksheet here. So this is the listing fields worksheet. And if you go in here and you go to, like, say, the fields, this is like the template, if you will. So if you use the MyListing worksheets and you use this specific worksheet, the instructions say clone this tab, which is going to give you all of the MyListing tabs. And then if you scroll to the right, you're going to see tons and tons of options for these fields here. Okay. What you do is, as part of what I recommend as part of a brand new MyListing project, is you use these worksheets, you stay in the worksheets, it's like a giant spreadsheet, and you fill out all of this information before you go into the MyListing theme and you start clicking between all of the different screens. You're going to waste so much time jumping between the different screens in MyListing, inputting the data. You're going to get lost. You're going to forget things. But if you come into your MyListing website and you have these spreadsheets, these worksheets completely filled out, ready to go, or mostly filled out, when you go into the MyListing settings, it's just boom, 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 plugging it all in. You're good to go. Okay, so that's what these are designed for. But specifically what I wanted to mention here is, because of the update to MyListing 2.13, there's some exciting changes around the fields, specifically with monetization. So for example, if I do a search in here for the word limits, you're going to see things like this. Package-based character limits. So that's a new column in this listing fields worksheet. And if you hover over this icon, this little information icon, you go in there, it says this column applies to these fields. Okay. Do you want to set Let's see if I can expand this here. Yeah, I guess I can't. Do you want to set character limits based on listing packages purchased as part of a monetization scheme? Okay, and if you do, then I say you come down here and you specify. So imagine this could be for you too, but also if you're working with clients, helping them build My Listing websites. So you're saying, okay, well, if that's true and you want to do that, let me know the listing package, let me know the minimum number of characters for this field, and let me know the maximum number of characters for this field. So then you come down here and I give you examples. You could say, for example, package 1 gets a minimum of 50 characters and a max of 300 characters. Package 2 gets 50 minimum characters and 600 max, and this is a monetization strategy. And I covered this in my MyListing version 2.13 release walkthrough video if you want to see more about that. But anyway, so I added multiple fields or columns, I should say, for these new features in 2.13. And it's I think there's one around character limits. There's one around file upload limits. There's one around terms, the number of terms, taxonomies that you can select, but it's all in here updated in this worksheet. Another thing is, okay, yeah, we're going to get to that. Guide updates. So I've been working on this probably for the past, let's say 3 weeks behind the scenes. So if you go into resources and you'll find guides here on the MyListing Club website. Let's go into the guides. So I've been behind the scenes working on revamping all of the guides, going through all of the important guides, getting rid of the ones that are no longer relevant, just cleaning house, bringing them up to date, and that sort of thing. So it's one of those things. Again, if you're not, we don't have constant communication with each other. So it's like you wonder: is Ryan creating guides? Is he updating the guides? Is he just letting them sit? Just know I'm always working on the guides, refining them. Okay, because it's not just for you. It is for you, but it's for myself and it's for my clients. It's for everybody. So I'm constantly working on improving this stuff. Right. All right. So if we go in here, I'll give you one example. Perf Matters. This is one of my best guides that I've done. Oop, I need to spell it right. All right. Perf Matters. Let's see. Here we go. Optimize My Listing websites with Perf Matters. I'm not logged in, so I can't show you this. But if you were to go into this guide, it's completely revamped top to bottom. It's completely up to date with the latest version of Perf Matters and the exciting changes around Perf Matters, specifically around code snippets. So you'll want to go check out that guide. But just to note that I am in there, again, working on this stuff all the time. There's a new guide. Let's go over here and code snippet solutions. I've just published this one today. So what this one is it's like a my thoughts on the order in which I would recommend you doing your, considering a code snippet solution. If you've used any of the club's code snippets in the past or guides, you might have seen this note here at the top, and it talks about WP Codebox. WP Codebox is still the plugin I use and recommend for my sites and my client sites. It is an advanced code snippet plugin, highly advanced. That can do way more than just code snippets. Okay, so I run through top to bottom where I recommend certain code snippet solutions. If you already have WP Codebox, stay with it. If you don't have WP Codebox and you want something a little less advanced, just something to get the job done, look at this solution. If you don't have this solution, look at this solution. If you're only looking for free solutions, here's my recommendation. Things like that. It walks you step by step the order in which I recommend things. So up here at the top, it used to just be a mention of WP Codebox. Now it's going to link all of the code snippets that I have are going to link to this document. And this is just going to be a document that I keep up to date at all times with my thoughts and what I'm using and all that. Okay, next up is code snippets, a specific code snippet. Also, I'm always keeping these code snippets up to date. If we go into code snippets, let me clear the filter here. Go back into code snippets. This one right here, prevent media from being duplicated when cloning listings. This is a thing that I reported to the MyListing developers. months back, and I don't think they even announced it in the theme updates. But I happened to notice in the support and the help desk that they supplied a fix. Like I didn't even know. I wouldn't have known. I just got lucky. I stumbled upon it. But this code snippet walked and kind of tells you what the problem is, what it fixes, and whatnot. But I wanted to draw your attention to that. That is something that I really needed specifically for my MyListing project over at influencewp.com. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. MyListing Club website card update. So what do I mean by that? So here on the homepage, this used to just be a box that said starter sites. This was a box here instead of light starter sites. It just said light starter sites. Here, for example, MyListing Elementor templates. It used to just say Elementor templates. What's the other examples? Code snippets. Like it would just say the title, and sometimes the title wasn't a perfect representation of what's in there. There was no description or anything like that, so you just had to click on the box and then go to the actual page before you found out what was actually what these boxes were about. So now I've gone through the entire website where these boxes occur, and I've put a little description in here so you know what you're clicking into. I think that'll really help people. Scrolling on down to the page here, same thing for services, and same thing for the MyListing add-ons. So you get a glimpse now of what this stuff is before you click into it, okay? All right, so that is that part. MyListing project template, completely redone from, I shouldn't say redone, completely updated, revamped across the board. I went into every single card and updated it and brought them up to speed based on what's going on, okay? The MyListing project template, if you're not familiar, right here from the homepage, we can go, let's find it here. Here we go, MyListing project template. This is a project board, a task board that's going to help you build MyListing websites from beginning to end, even all the way up to like launch, website care going forward, SEO maintenance going forward, and even selling your company. It's all in that project template, especially if you're building your site on your own or if you're building a site for a client. I recommend you get this template. I'm updating it all the time, but it's completely up to speed now as of literally this afternoon. Stack page revamp. If we go down into the footer, or you just remember to type in this URL, if we go to the My Tech Stack page, this is the trusted tools and resources that power my businesses. And this is legit. If you log into MyListing Club, if you log into WP Turned Up, my other WordPress agency, if you log into Influence WP, Changelog WP, any of my businesses that run WordPress, you're going to find this stuff in here. Obviously, the MyListing add-ons are only apply to MyListing websites, but any websites that I build that use MyListing get these add-ons. So my influencewp.com project has these add-ons. I'm using these exact add-ons on my own project. Okay. So kind of like the cards that you saw on the homepage, descriptions. And I've updated all of the descriptions, these little short descriptions here at the bottom. But this is literally a running update of everything that I use in my businesses. Everything is in here, literally everything. If I go and I use a new app next week and I use it for a month, it's going in here. If I stop using an app for, if I'm not using one for like 6 months, I remove it from here. All right. I even went so far as to say, hey, if you're just starting out and you need a starter email sending kit, go MailPoet. If you need a more advanced, like you've outgrown MailPoet, like your website's doing very big business, lots of orders and that sort of thing, here's the exact advanced stack I'm using in my businesses. This is what I use over at Influence WP because I get a lot of orders and I need it. And it's not just orders either. You got to think about email, newsletters. I send a lot of newsletters, all sorts of anything you're sending with email. If you start to send a lot of emails, sometimes you need something a little more advanced. But in this case, in a lot of cases, MailPoet is all you ever need. I ran for years on MailPoet for free even. So that is that. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next section. 2026 for the MyListing Club videos. I do a lot of videos. I've been doing a lot of videos over on influencewp.com. Uh, we'll get to that here in a second, but I've been doing a lot of videos, not just for MyListing Club, just WordPress in general. So I'm just going to keep leaning more and more heavily into videos on all of my channels. So you're already watching this. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead, please subscribe. More to come. Tutorials. I'm going to be reintroducing all of the club's services because it's been a while since I've done that. We're not going to do that in this video, but I'm going to reintroduce all of the club services and talk about where they're at today and how they can help your business. I'm going to reintroduce all of the club products again. It's been a while since I've done that. Just talk about what they are, how they benefit you, that sort of thing. Guide updates, going to just continue updating the guides. Code snippets, I'm going to continue updating the code snippets. I'm always in the background updating things, even though you may not realize it. All right. So like when you sign up for a club membership or you're granted a club membership and you get access to those resources, I want to make sure that you're getting up-to-date information. Now I can't always ensure that it's 100% updated because there's just so many, but I always try to do my best to circle back and update those. Or if somebody points something out, I go and I make the updates. All right, so MyListing Club product page revamp. So these are pretty good already because I work on them all the time. But let's say we go to let's say like starter sites. That's like my main product. I keep simplifying these. I want to make it so when you land on these pages, and it's part of redesigning those cards too, is to give you an idea of what these are. Just to keep simplifying things and eliminate the questions. Like I want you to be able to, if you bypass the card and you happen to just hit this starter site page, what is a starter site? Right off the bat, just hit you. What is this thing? So you don't have to ask questions. But I'm always simplifying things, and I've got it pretty simplified down. But I can keep working on that. One thing I forgot to put in my notes that I'm going to do, and let me make a note of this actually right here at the top, is I'm going to be offering free like intros, consultations. So before I would put a small price tag on them and I would say they're free, but you actually had to pay. And then if you signed up for my services, then I would credit you back the amount. I was getting lots of questions over the years of like, I don't want to pay you for this, which is actually fine because that weeds out a lot of just what I call tire kickers, people that aren't really serious about their business. They're not willing to see like literally you pay, but you're going to get your money back. But I think what a lot of times it was just, well, they wanted some advice or an introduction to the club, to Ryan, but they weren't necessarily like they knew they were never going to hire me or potentially weren't. That kind of scared them off. So I'm going to reintroduce those, but they are going to be free. They're just going to be 15 minutes, quick hitter introductions to answer pre-sales questions, just to meet you, that sort of thing. But they will be free, no payment up front, no strings attached, nothing. So that is going to be the first time I've done that in the entire history of the MyListing Club, just offering that so I can get to meet more people and hopefully help more people. So that's coming. I put a note that I need to create that and link to it. All right. So next up would be, what do I have on the list here? Starter sites. If you haven't noticed already, Elementor is coming out with what they call V4, version 4. This is going to be a complete redo of the page builder. So when MyListing came out, Elementor had a version, I think let's just call it version 2, where we had sections and columns. Then V3 came out where we had containers and grids. V4 is going to be completely different than that, but on top of that, it's going to be what they call atomic elements, and it's going to be a complete revamp. Okay, it doesn't mean that you need to redo your site, but if you want to take advantage of the latest, greatest Elementor's performance improvements, features, and that sort of thing, over time, you're going to want to update to V4. But it's currently in beta. It's got to be released in 2026. It has to be, right? I can't imagine it not being. So my goal in 2026 is to get the starter sites completely moved over to V4. I don't know if I'm going to do a clone. I'm probably just going to redo them. Take them as they are, but just convert them over to V4. I think it's the plan. I was thinking about maybe I would clone them and keep like a V3 and a V4 version, but we should all just be going to V4 eventually. So on that note, it's one of the reasons I don't recommend you install the MyListing demos, because if you go and you get a MyListing demo, you're going to be using V2 and you're going to be way behind. You're going to have to redo everything. It's not going to be a slow gradual from V3 to V4. You're going to be going from like V1, V2, all the way to V4. You have to redo all kinds of things. That's why I recommend you don't install the MyListing demos. Instead, you on a live site, you can install them on a like staging or a test site and learn from it. Learn how MyListing is built, but don't put it on your live site. You're going to spend way more time undoing things and redoing things the right way. Okay. There's a better way. Use the starter sites from the club. I'm not going to get into what they are. You can come here and research yourself. There's also the light starter sites. All right. These are essentially the MyListing demos, but improved. Where are we at here? Up at the top, light starter sites. These are lighter versions of my full starter sites. They're less pages, less bells and whistles. Still fantastic design. It's just modernizing the MyListing demo. So if we go here and we look at this one, for example, compare this to what you see in the car demo from MyListing. It's night and day. It's not even the same. I've got videos on this YouTube channel talking about these. All right, so that's what these are. Let's look at the property. Just night and day as far as the quality and the design. And these are built with Elementor V3. So these will be converted to V4. But because these are V3, these will last you a long time. And you don't have to go to V4 if you don't want to. Same goes for the full starter sites from the club. They're all V3. So you can run those for years if you wanted before switching to A4. But if you install the MyListing demo, good luck. Yeah, like I just do not recommend you do that. The other option is build from scratch. Learn from the demos, build from scratch. All right. Next up is, what do I have here? Templates. So, because we're going to be shifting to V4 over time, then the Elementor templates. So templates come from the starter site. Sometimes I create ones that are just on the side. They're just random that I think are useful that aren't necessarily part of a starter site. But you can see there's a ton of templates in here, pages and pages of templates that will need to be converted to V4. And as I convert these to V4, I will have a way over here for you to distinguish that. So you can filter by V3 and V4 in there. All right. Okay, next up is stack page. Probably every 2 months or every 6 months, sorry, I'm going to be redoing my stack page, visiting the stack page, letting you guys know what it is I'm using, what I'm seeing works, and all of that sort of thing. All right, next up we have tidbits. This is just important thoughts that I have, feelings that I have, thoughts, whatever you want to call them. The first one is affiliate links. So because of part of my Influence WP project is no affiliate links. I don't make any money from the Influence WP project from affiliate links because I want the partners, vendors to maximize their revenue. I don't want to take a cut of their sales through all these affiliate links. I've gotten tired of affiliate programs over the years and I just don't, not a huge fan overall unless I use the product and I believe in the product and I can really speak to what it does. That brings me back to the stack page. I had this in a video. I think it was one of my more recent videos, right? Where I talked about I was gonna like plans for my listing. Heck, I don't know. Maybe it was back to the beginning of 2025. Maybe it was a video like this where I can't remember off the top of my head, but I talked about things that I was gonna do this year. So maybe it was a year ago, but I talked about getting away from affiliate links. Okay. So I've always wanted to be, it's part of the Influence WP project, a trusted source, not based on money that I make by recommending stuff. I recommend stuff that I actually use and that I see works. It's trusted tools, right? So as part of this, like you will be hard pressed to find affiliate links in anything I do anymore. So you can know if I come down here, for example, now I'm under business operations, and you see, let's just pick one. We'll go WP Umbrella. Okay, this is a deal link. This deal link goes to influencewp.com, where I don't make an affiliate commission. Okay. Let's go to this. Let's go to Notion down here. Here's a link to Notion. I use Notion for my internal documentation and knowledge base. If you link to this, you click on that card, there's no affiliate link. I don't get anything. I'm just telling you what it is that I use. And if you go through this card, I would say 80% of what's in here is not an affiliate link. Okay. If you go to something like Airtable, that, I get a little credit if you sign up. I don't get anything if you don't sign up. So even in that case, it's not really completely an affiliate link. I'm not guaranteed to get anything. You have to do a couple things before I get anything, but there's hardly any affiliate links in anything that I do anymore. So you just know that when I recommend something, it's not for money. Okay. Next up is, this is an important one. Actually, I'll say that one, this next one for last. Next one I'm going to do, I'm going to rearrange the order. Next, I'm going to do abandoned projects. You can believe me on this stuff if you want, but I see a lot of projects. Okay, whether it's people sign up for just the club's hosting, for example, which I have hundreds of people that sign up for the club's hosting. I totally recommend that you do that. But it's abandoned projects. It's projects I have nothing to do with. I offer hosting, and I'll help them if I can, like if they ask me questions. But by and large, I'm supplying them hosting, and off they go. But there's lots of abandoned projects. Like you go to them, they sign up for Keensta, for example, which is the club's recommended host, and then they'll cancel. And I think, well, what did I do wrong? What did Keensta do wrong? And I know that we didn't do anything wrong. Keensta did anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. It's the project that was abandoned after a few months or whatever. So they don't want to pay for hosting if their project goes nowhere. And this is what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing when I ask people, like, what happened? Sometimes I'll ask people, like, what happened? Again, abandoned projects. Don't install the demos on a live website and think that it's going to work for you. It's not going to work. I keep hearing, I installed the demos. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I had to redo everything. I wish I would have learned about your starter sites before I spent months, tinkering, trying to undo the MyListing demos and trying to, all that stuff and learn. That's one of the big reasons, because there's that, like I said, that outdated Elementor. It's like you're getting V1 and V2, and V4 is about to be released. What else? It takes more time undoing and rebuilding when you should just be using a starter site from the club, or building new even is better than installing a demo, in my opinion, on a live site. Again, demos on staging or testing is absolutely fine to learn from, not on your live site. The other thing too is when they're not on the club's hosting, when they're just off on their own, but I know about their projects, like they've talked to me or whatever the case may be. I know about their projects, but they're not a client and they're not using the club services. We've just had conversations. It's hosting is one of the biggest issues I'm seeing. People go out and they look for the cheapest hosting, $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, and they think that they can run a website that's running MyListing, which is a heavy theme, WooCommerce, which is a heavy plugin, Elementor, which is a heavy plugin, and all of these other plugins that you add that might also be heavy. But the theme, the MyListing theme, WooCommerce, and Elementor, those three things alone, without any other plugins or anything else going on at your site, require great hosting. You can't go with cheap hosting. It might work for a month maybe. Long term, it's not going to work. Wait till you have 10 people using your site at once. Wait till you have 20. Wait till you have 100 people using your website at one time. Good luck. Like it's not. And then there's just the user experience on the front end, just in general, slow loading pages, things are broken. It's just not good. So invest in good hosting. I highly recommend you go with the club's hosting. You get your own account. I'm simply supplying you enterprise level Kinsta that would cost you thousands of dollars on your own. On top of that, you're getting over $6,000 in premium solution licensing every year, year over year. So why would you go pay? Heck, why would you go pay for $30 a month hosting when you can spend 35 on the club's hosting and get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of software and way better hosting? Just I don't understand why people don't go with the club's hosting. I would love to hear the reasons why. You get your own account. I have no desire to understand what you're doing to access your stuff. I do not, I have way too busy for that. Take advantage of the club's hosting. Uh, we've got hundreds of people on it. There's a reason for that. Join up. All right. But don't get crappy hosting. And the last part with the abandoned projects is don't chase free things. If you go into the MyListing help desk, for example, you're constantly seeing, where can I find a free this? Where can I find a free that? Somebody the other day I saw asked for WooCommerce, a free solution for WooCommerce subscriptions. I'm like, are you kidding me? So you have a MyListing website, a directory that you're wanting to monetize by selling subscriptions, but you want a solution that's free to do that? Why should you make money selling subscriptions, but you're asking these developers to give you a free solution to do that? There's this stigma in the WordPress ecosystem because it's free that plugins should be free, and also that people's time should be free. I see that all the time. Ryan, work for free. Ryan, work for free. Why, Ryan? People on Upwork are charging $5 an hour. Yeah, because they're going to scam you. They're going to put crap on your website, infect your site with malware. You're going to come back later and find out that they installed Elementor Pro, a cracked version that's not licensed, and then they're going to hold you hostage by asking you for hundreds of dollars to get a license from them. You get what you pay for, guys. Do not chase free. Do not chase cheap. Invest in yourself. Invest in your business. Okay. This is why projects get abandoned. The people that have stayed with me the longest, I've got a client that has 9 MyListing websites with me. It's because they are not cheap. They know the stuff takes time. They know the stuff takes money, takes expertise to run. Okay. All right. Last one here is customer behavior. And this is not just about me. This is in general. This is your behavior. This is my behavior as a customer. Okay. So this is what I am pleading with everyone to do in 2026 and beyond. When you provide feedback, when you go to complain, when you're frustrated, whatever the case may be constructive. Provide constructive feedback. Don't attack. Don't be rude. Don't criticize just to criticize, to make yourself feel better. Just constructive feedback. Hey, Ryan, this on your site. I was a little confused here. Could you explain what this meant? What this means? Excuse me. Or Ryan, I noticed this. Could you help me? That's how you go about getting help or providing feedback. Is be respectful, be kind. You're going to get better answers if you approach it that way. Okay. Don't be rude. Don't be dishonest. Don't be abusive. Don't be any of those things. Okay. It's not good. Pay your bills. If you don't pay your water bill, they shut off your water. If you don't pay your power bill, they shut off your power. If you don't pay for your Microsoft this, your Amazon that, your Netflix this, you are going to get canceled. The same thing applies to WordPress products and services. Okay, guys? Pay your bills, pay them on time. People have families behind these solutions and services. Okay? There's a lot of this that I'm seeing out there, like on social media, and I've experienced it through the club and my other businesses where, people don't always pay their bills. And when you ask them to pay their bills, they get rude, defensive, and all of these things. And I just ask that you guys put yourself in the shoes of the people trying to collect money to make a living. How would you feel if someone did that to you? That's what you need to ask. So whether you're in the MyListing help desk, whether you're talking to me or whatever, be kind, be respectful, and you're going to get way better answers, way better whatever. My next bullet point here is shirt off my back. If you know me in real life or you've been a client for any amount of time, I will give you everything. I'll give you the shirt off my back if I can. If you're kind, if you're respectful, if we are a team, right? But the second you come at me with, you're rude, disrespectful, any of those things, we're done. Like, got to come at people that are trying to help you in a respectful way, in a kind way. And again, I will give you the shirt off my back. I'll give you everything I can if you do that. Okay. All right, that's off my soapbox there for customer behavior. So in 2026, just be kinder to everybody, and you will be rewarded. I'm convinced of that. All right, calls to actions, and I will get you out of here. MyListing Club, subscribe to the newsletter. MyListing.club/newsletter. Okay, if you're this channel, YouTube channel, subscribe to it. InfluenceWP.com. This is my MyListing project. That's where you're getting the deals from the MyListing Club. Okay, so if I go over here to deals on the MyListing Club website, you'll see we have 383 deals over on InfluenceWP right now. Okay, this is where all the deals I'm able to offer you are coming from, is that InfluenceWP project. If you are a client of mine, you get free access to InfluenceWP to get the deals, to enter the giveaways, and so on. All right. If you're not a client and you have no interest in being a client of mine, go over to influencewp.com and sign up for a membership. It is it's basically free because you take advantage of just one deal and you're going to get your membership back. Okay. Go over there and sign up, and it impacts who I'm able to get as a partner. I can go to the potential partner and say, hey, we have 500 members that you're going to be able to reach. Do you want to partner up? Okay. It takes all of us to come together and reap the benefits of that thing. So go over to InfluenceWP, sign up as a member, grab some of those deals, subscribe to the newsletter, influencewp.com/newsletter. Go over to the InfluenceWP YouTube channel, subscribe to that channel. Next up, I'll do this real quick. Let's just take a quick peek at InfluenceWP. There you go. That's the project. It is a passion project. It is my own MyListing project. It's my baby. This is my baby, my MyListing website. Go here, grab the deals, enter the giveaways, all that good stuff. Next up is Changelog WP. This is my other passion project for WordPress. Go here, subscribe to the newsletter, changelogwp.com/newsletter. Go to the Changelog WP YouTube channel and subscribe. That's less important because it's mainly just information about Changelog WP. There's no tutorials or anything like that. But sign up for the newsletter, and more importantly, go over here to the changelogs. Subscribe to changelogs. So let's say, for example, Elementor, you want to subscribe to the Elementor changelog just to see how it evolves. I'm just picking this out of the lineup here. Here we go. You go in here, you can review the latest changelog, you can add it to your watch list, and then you can optionally get an email daily, weekly, or not at all. Okay. And you just come in here and load up the changelogs that you want to see reach your inbox or not. Once you sign up, you can go into your account. When you're logged into your account, you can go in there and see everything that you're subscribed to, unsubscribe, that sort of thing. But it's a really cool project. It's gaining a ton of momentum. If you're watching this and you happen to be a software creator in WordPress, we have a way to help you, a plugin to help you display your change logs. And then from that plugin, you can send them over, those change logs over to changelog WP, where people like you can also subscribe to those change logs. So you'll see here, we have a ton of change logs, tons. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. InfluenceWP.com, changelogwp.com, MyListing.club. Lots going on, lots more to come. Yeah, that's it. Happy 2026, and I will see you in the next video.